My name is Rachel Detroit. I am with Chronic Movement. Our mission is to educate and empower folks that they can heal, they can feel better through lifestyle changes, primarily plant-based nutrition, and a plethora of other lifestyle changes here. So today we're gonna make some travel cookies. So the name travel cookies was actually coined by my friend Julia, Chef Julia. She was like, you should call them travel cookies. Because these cookies are so easy to travel with. You could throw them in a bag, they're not gonna break down. They're dense, they're filling. So here we go, let's make some travel cookies. We're gonna need oats, and this is the brand that I like. We'll use oats, some oat flour, and I just make the oat flour in my Vitamix. We'll use some oat flour, some flax seed. We want it to be ground because if it's not ground, then it's hard to digest. Your body will just pass it. We got almond butter here, maple syrup, pure vanilla extract, cinnamon, and raisins. And that's all. And that's all that's in there. All right, so let's get started. I have my oven preheated to 350 degrees here. So let's get going with the oats. So we're gonna do 3/4 cup of oat flour. And this I used oats and I just ground it up in my Vitamix. You could use any blender. I do recommend if you do wanna make an investment into a blender, go with the Vitamix, so that it's worth it for me, but I use it a lot. So I'm gonna do 3/4 cup of this oat flour. Get the true amount. All right, so 3/4 cup of oat flour, and then a 1/4 cup of regular oats. These are sprouted rolled oats. I like this brand particularly because they are glyphosate free. So when we're talking about chronic illness, we want to avoid glyphosates, pesticides, and glyphosates tend to cause a lot of neurological issues. So that's important to me. And you typically find glyphosates in wheat and grain products. All right, so we got our oats in there. Next, we got a 1/4 cup of maple syrup. Maple syrup. So here's the trick on the nut butter and the maple syrup. If you use the same measuring cup here for maple syrup and nut butter, if you do the syrup first and then throw the nut butter in there, it makes the nut butter stick less. So that's always the order. So I got a 1/4 cup of maple syrup, and then I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of this nut butter here. Let me grab a utensil. Alright, so I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of this nut butter. I use raw nut butter from Trader Joe's. I like the chunky kind. I buy it raw because, because the more that it's roasted, the more inflammatory that it becomes. So I always try to, get things close to their raw form as possible. So I got my 1/4 cup of nut butter here. You could use peanut butter if you like. You could use cashew butter. You could use any of the nut butters. Raw almond butter, crunchy. All right, so I'm gonna throw that in there. These are really easy to make. Everyone will love them. They're sweet, they're delicious. And then I'm gonna make another version too, and I'll give you the details about that in a second. They'll be chocolatey tahini. So if those of you guys who know me, I am the tahini queenie. I love tahini. All right, so then I'm gonna do 1 tablespoon of this ground flaxseed. A lot of the time people will say, at least this is golden, and they'll say, what's the difference between the golden and the brown? The truth really is just the color. In terms of nutrients and things like that, you're not gonna lose any nutrients by buying one over the other, but just make sure that you get them ground already, because if it's just the whole seed, we got 1 tablespoon. If it's just the whole seed, you'll just pass it, your body won't digest it. So it'll be like, and if you have some that need to be ground, just grind them and then eat them. All right, so then we got a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'm gonna invite you to add more if you like. So I got my half teaspoon of cinnamon. I like cinnamon, so I'm gonna do a little bit more. All right, these are super easy. We're almost done making them. 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and then 1/4 cup of raisins. And we'll mix them up, put them on our tray. So I get this pure vanilla extract. I get it from Costco. I do a lot of my shopping at Costco, because I find that they have the best prices, especially if I find something that I like. Like those oats that I showed you all, I get those from Costco, and I always grab 2 bags when I buy them, because you never know. You never know if they won't be there. All right, so we have 1/4 cup of raisins. You could use any dried fruit. I like this particular thing of raisins, you know, because when eating whole food plant-based, we really want to be aware of oil. The only ingredients in these are organic raisins. Sometimes with dried fruit, you'll find that they put oil in it. And, you know, that boggles me. All right, so 1/4 cup of raisins. You could add more if you wanted to. That's all up to you. All right, so that's it. It's in terms of ingredients. My oven's preheated to 350. I'm gonna make this. If you tend to want more, you can double this recipe. They're very tasty. You'll make it once and you'll be like, man, I wish I doubled it. I invite you to double it. This will make about 6 to 8 cookies. And if you did consume all of them, I'm not saying go ahead and consume all of them. You don't have to feel guilty about it, or you ate too much or anything like that, because really it's, you know, it's a 1 cup of oats, which I tend to eat that much for my breakfast. And it's overall good stuff. Maple syrup, if you are struggling with IBS issues, maple syrup is one of the sweeteners that are low FODMAP, which is a type of eating for folks who have, you know, IBS issues, stomach digestion issues. And, you know, I'll talk a little bit more about chronic movement. So what I do is I'm a whole food plant-based nutritionist, a personal trainer. I teach cooking classes, plant-based cooking classes, and I coach folks in the 6 spokes of lifestyle medicine. So what they are is sleep hygiene, stress management, nutrition, plant-based nutrition, physical movement, so that's 4, social connection. All right, getting that done. Yeah, so I coach folks in these lifestyle changes. And they're really helpful. So I was diagnosed with MS 2.5 years ago, and I just really took to these lifestyle changes. They're really helpful for overcoming chronic illness. All right, so I'm going to make these little cookies here. Let me use my spoon here. All right. So like I said, this will make about 6 to 8 cookies depending on the size. And let me tell you, they are real tasty. But yeah, if you're looking for support, nutrition planning, meal planning, if you're just, you know, if you're going through something with your health, if you're wanting to lose weight, or whatever you're feeling, whatever you're going through, you know, you could send me a message. You can find me on Facebook at Chronic Movement. Just search Chronic Movement. You could send me an email, chronicmovementdet. That's for Detroit, but chronicmovementdet@gmail.com. I live in Detroit. I love this city. You can find me on Instagram, chronic.movement. You can check out my website, chronicmovement.life. And consider subscribing to my channel here. I think I'm getting a little rowdy with my hands. This was probably not necessary, right? All right, so I'm going to have 6 cookies here. I'm going to throw them in the oven And then I'm gonna just bake them for 10 to 13 minutes, kind of go from there. So my mom's taking a trip. Those of you guys who follow me online, you know that I'm really close to my mother. She's taking a trip here, and I'm gonna give her some of these travel cookies to take with her on the plane because they're perfect for traveling. All right, so mine made 6 cookies. Depending on the size, you probably could get 6 to 8, like I said. But yeah, if you're considering lifestyle changes, you need some support, you need some coaching, you need some help, send me a message, no pressure, consult. We can just see if I can help you. Otherwise, follow the Facebook page. There's a ton of free content. Send me a message whenever you want. All right, let's get these in the oven. Clean my hands off. I got a little rowdy here with the syrup. All right, so this is what they look like. And feel free to double that recipe up. So I'll tell you a little bit about the second batch I'm gonna make. I'm gonna use, get this timer going. I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of raw cacao. And I'll show you the one that I get. It's organic cacao powder. I'm gonna use a 1/4 cup of raw cacao. I'm gonna add 2 to 3 tablespoons of almond milk. And then I'm gonna replace the almond butter with tahini. And this is the tahini that I use. All right, so I'm gonna let these bake. I'm gonna get the other tray going. We'll see when they're done. I just wanted to show you the chocolate ones. So I added a 1/4 cup of cacao. I added 2 tablespoons of almond milk because the cacao will make it like extra dry. And then I replaced the almond butter with tahini. So you can use any type of nut butter. So this is it. You could add your own chocolate chips to it. If you have one that you like, you could also add walnuts. I just kept them as they are. So I'm gonna throw these in the oven for 10 to 13 minutes. And then we'll be back with a bunch of cookies. All right, we're back. The cookies are done. So we have these oatmeal raisin. I would say go with these ones first and then play with the other flavors. You can flavor it however you like. These are the chocolate tahini ones. Add more sweetener, add nuts to it, add, you know, whatever. Let your creativity soar with these. They're really easy. They're easy to travel with. They hold their shape. I mean, they're fantastic. They're delicious. Look how wonderful. And I just want to touch again upon the six main foundations of lifestyle changes. So I'm Rachel Detroit. I'm with Chronic Movement. I focus on helping folks optimize their lifestyle through their nutrition, plant-based nutrition, physical activity, stress management, substance intake, optimizing sleep hygiene, and our social connection. So there's 6 factors there of lifestyle changes that can really impact your life and really change things. So if you want to talk to me, send me a message. Otherwise, if you make these cookies, post them, show me at Chronic Movement. We got a Chronic Movement, Rachel Detroit Chronic Movement support group. Check it out, post these cookies. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Take good care.